Today I've picked some books from my bookshelves and I want to share with you some of the quotes that I've bookmarked before. Let's see, the first book that I have here is called This Tender Land and it's by William Kent Krieger. It's been quite a while since I last read this book, but I remember it being one of my favorite books. Right, so the first quote that I have here is something frightened you. You should get closer to it. That didn't mean it would still be an awful thing. But the awful you knew was easier to handle than the awful you imagined. It's right, you know. If you're scared of something, you should find out what it is and face it. You know, they say the exposure therapy. If you're scared of it, it's more of the reason why you should do it. As I mentioned in the video that I've made before, you do it scared. Because after you experienced it, it might not be as bad as you thought it was. And then you got over it. Because as I mentioned before, we often overthink the worst case scenario. And when you actually face it, it's not as bad as you thought it was. Even if it was, somehow, I feel like our anxiety often lies to us. It gives us the feeling that we might die if this thing happens to me. But that is not often get the case. Normally, yeah, it sucks, but eventually it happened and you survived. That proves something, that you could get over something like that, and you've proven yourself that you're braver than you thought, and then you will face the future. If anything, you were to be scared and something bad again that happens, then you can remind yourself that it's just like before. Another thing that I can't get past. So here's the second quote that I would like to share. From the height of a certain wisdom, acquired across many decades, I look down now on those 4 children, traveling a meandering river whose end was unknown to them. Even across the distance of time, I hurt for them and pray for them still. Our former selves are never dead. We speak to them, arguing against decisions we know will bring only unhappiness, offering consolation and hope, even though they cannot hear. Albert, I whisper, stay clear-headed. Moss, stay strong. Emmy, hold to the truth of your visions. And Odie, do not be afraid. I am here, waiting patiently for you on the banks of the Gilead. If I remember correctly, they escaped from a place together, and it's his friends and the people he met along the way. And he said, along the river, we do face challenges from our journey, from the start to the end. At a certain point of life, it is unknown, right? We don't know what will happen in the future and what kind of challenges we might face. And it's beautifully written here. It's beautifully put here because it says it's kind of like our future self is rooting for us in the future. We cannot yet see so far what's waiting for us ahead. We don't know for sure that if we might make it to the end, but isn't it beautiful to think that our future self is actually waiting for us on the other side? The reason for us to push through the hardships that we face right now and where we are right now. It might feel hard, to be in certain situations and to face certain challenges, but there is a future that is cheering for us, waiting for us to see how good it can get if we were to just be able to push through this period of life. It's like the light of the end of the tunnel kind of thing. As it said, hold on to your visions, what you believe, what you want. Stay strong. And don't be afraid. And even if you're afraid, like I said, just do it scared. There's a beautiful future. The people that we have yet to meet, the things that we have yet to experience, things that might be better than we can ever imagine. Or we can finally meet to see the day where our goals and what we want to be in life actually happen. Then it won't be just all for nothing, you see. We will finally get to be there where we want to be. Yeah, I think this is my favorite quote from this my favorite book. Yeah, it's beautifully written. If we were perfect, the light he shines on us would just bounce right off. But the wrinkles, they catch the light. And the cracks, that's how the light gets inside us. Here's another one. Right. But Buck, here's the thing. If you never make that kind of bet, you'll never see the good that might come from it. We need to take risk in our lives. It's kind of like investment. If you were to take that leap, who knows? The bigger risk that you take might be the biggest return that you might get for yourself, because it's not where you usually will be or what you will usually do. They say nothing changes if nothing changes. So if you were to put yourself in that kind of situation, you expose yourself to things that you don't normally see or experience in your life, and that's when you get things that you don't normally get. You have to give something from yourself in order to be able to get something in return. But that is not to say you should expect things when you do something. It's just in a way that even if you're uncomfortable, you still do it regardless of everything that you might think. And who knows, better things might come to reward you. as it said, it's a kind of bad, and you'll never see the good because it's good for us. I mean, we should actually protect ourselves from bad things, right? But not to the extent that we can only see bad things and not the good possibilities that might also happen within it, as we don't. That's actually quite a limiting way to see things, because that is not the whole of a thing. We just cloud our vision sometimes just with the bad, and we fail to see what's beyond it, or just this is the bad side, and we did not take into account of the good things too. And so that's why I think our mind can trick us, right? It's good to think, but we must also take our heart or our intuition into account when we were to decide if we want to do this thing or not. Or just sometimes, disregard your thoughts and just do it. If you believe that you will get something good out of it, and it actually is good for you, and if that is what you want. Because sometimes in our heart we have desires, we have what we want, but then our mind tell us, or the society that condition us into thinking that we shouldn't expect that, we might not deserve it, because of what people from also limiting beliefs and minds thought to themselves, and they think that's the truth, but that can be the truth for them. It doesn't have to be the truth for you. And so how much within our mind is actually our own thought, and how much of it is what people tell us and what we consume or heard from other people? How much of it is yours and how much of it is other people's actually? And so isn't it better to go out there and experience life yourself, to do it and see, oh, this is how it actually is. See for yourself, don't just follow the words, as we can't predict. I mean, yeah, our minds, certain thoughts can manifest into reality, but your action forms your reality. So there's the difference between those two. Oh, here's another one. You believe you've been looking for home, Audie. This is where your belief has brought you. That doesn't mean it's the end of your journey. So even if that's what you believe that you want in life, but it turns out, after all the things that you've done, all the things that you've gone through, you went through so many things, and you get here right now, and you get there where you thought you want to be. But when you're actually there, regardless if it's actually you following your heart or you following the words of others, and when you get there, you realize that it is not where you actually want to be, and it is not actually what you want. And then you feel, oh, it's too late. I've wasted my time. I've wasted everything. It's all for nothing. No, don't think that, because it is not the end. It is just part of the journey. It's just one of the points that you've gotten in your life. There's still many and longer ahead. You have more time than you think you have, especially during this fast-paced society, where everyone just go next, and quick, with how the pace of life is right now. So it says, this doesn't mean that it is the end of your journey, because it's never too late to change route, right? You might go straight all this time and just to meet an end where you thought is an end, a dead end, but no, it's not. You can choose to go further beyond what you thought was an end. Like, you might think it's the end of the road when you stand and there's like a line and there's forest in front, and you thought, oh, I can't go any further because this is where the line of road stops. But you can try to take a step forward beyond the line, and there's actually a vast place waiting for you to explore in the forest, maybe, and for you to go through another route, left, right. It's not just left or right, any direction if you want. And so this is not the end. You can always turn back too if you want, or just take a U-turn or keep going and see where it leads you. It's not the end until you decide it's the end. Right, here's another one. Maybe the universe is one grand story, and who says that it can't be changed in the telling? Yeah, you thought the point where you've gotten is the end of your story, but you're the one that writes it and narrates it, decide how it goes. So you can always change how you want to tell your story and how you want it to develop. Even if a book were to end, you can always write chapter 2. This is the last quote that I've bookmarked from this book. Our eyes perceive so dimly, and our brains are so easily confused. Far better, I believe, to be like children and open ourselves to every beautiful possibility, for there is nothing our hearts can imagine that is not so. Our eyes and our mind can trick us into what is not an actual reality. And so he said, we should act like children, to have that kind of curiosity and open ourselves to possibilities beyond our imagination. Children, they have not yet experienced what we think is the right way to do things. There are rules. We're conditioned to act certain way and not act certain way. But children, they are innocent, right? They have not yet, should I say, the harsh reality or the rigid of what the crowd think is right or wrong. They're more free to do what they want, and they don't have to think so much and worry so much of what others think, if it's right or wrong, or what can or can't be do, or what they can or cannot do. They just do it because they feel like doing it, they want to do it, right? And I think we have something to learn from that. That is not to say to be impulsive and not think at all before doing anything, no. But to some things that we are afraid to do because we're scared of maybe what others might think of us or how they might judge us, it's lame or something. But when is it not cool to try and follow your heart and your passion? It's your, because it's in your heart and your mind for a reason. It might be your calling and what you're meant to do. So why not give it a try? So yeah, I really like books like this, where to see the people go through the hardships and the challenges, and then they come out at the end of the other side, and it's good, seeing that they've went through all of that, and to finally get a good ending, if not better than where they used to be. It reminds us where we are right now. Even if we can't see it, there's a future better than we can imagine is waiting for us. It's inspiring for me. It gives me a sense of hope to see you can come out from this to the other side. Yeah. I've actually picked some books, but maybe I would share some other books or quotes another time. Alright, so take care until then, and hope to see you next time.